Greetings, real estate investors of the United States and North America. Tonight, we're going to be talking about some key things that has kept Dan Borrero and Kris Haskins in business for over 50 years combined. Have you ever wondered how is it that some people can continuously buy real estate whether the market is going up, down, left, right, forward, backwards, or even sideways? This is the podcast for you. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Is it all we got now? Is it is it anything? Is it just ladies and gentlemen? I mean, do we say that? Is there anything else I need to add? I mean, can I still say ladies and gentlemen? Damn. Damn. Can I still say ladies and gentlemen? Is that okay? Did I offend anybody saying ladies and gentlemen? Shit. So tonight I'm going to be on one because I have so much empathy. Empathy. People always ask me, Kris, don't you get tired of this? How do you stand out? I want to start a channel, but I just don't. Everybody's talking. No one has my heart. No one has my heart. Now, people have hearts around the world. Brian, I can still say ladies and gentlemen. Am I still okay? Am I politically correct saying ladies and gentlemen? Shit. Did I offend somebody? Did I offend you? Sorry. So let's talk about tonight. Let's talk about this. I got so much to share with you. So I just borrowed $1,280,000, right? But I want to show y'all, how did we do it? How do we keep borrowing? How do we keep borrowing money, y'all? What up? Simply Biz. Please, Dan's going to be on in a minute. State your name, where you're calling from, where you at in the world. State your name and where you chiming in from. Where you chiming in from. So I want to show y'all. I'm going to show y'all. Would you like to see the conversation between me and a new lender that just loaned me $100,000? I will wait for someone to put yes in the chat. I will wait. I have the conversation here loaded up. But if anybody would like to see the conversation and how I can unpack it for you, because what I am learning is if you do not learn how to raise money from the private sector, it might be a little challenging for you to stay doing business. What up, Carlise from the GA, from the VA to the GA? Simply Biz in the Chi-Town. I'm going to wait for someone to say, Kris, I want to hear how you just was able to raise. In fact, I raised another $180,000. Raising money. Raising money is a part of the sport of real estate acquisition and finance. Let me let that sink in for a moment. Raising money. If you just think you're going to depend on these traditional lenders out here that are in the business of you see, money has an expense. How do I look at financing? Let me frame this up for you as we get into this conversation. Okay, Deborah wants to hear. Thank you, Deborah. Make me feel like I'm actually doing something. Kevin, what up? If you want to call in on our line here tonight, let me put the line on the screen here as we wait for Dan. That's our line here, 757-204-1332. We're going to be taking calls, taking your questions. Brian, you say what you believe. Oh, thank you. Arthur, what's up? Arthur Miller has moved to California. Arthur, what are you doing in California? You are a crazy man. My plumber and friend moved to California from Hampton Roads, Virginia. Rose, what's up? We're going to pray for Rose, y'all. Rose going through something that I would not want to go through. Rose, you know I love you. I'm not going to blow you up. But if you think real estate is going to be this smooth thing, it's crazy shit. People say, I want to get in real estate so I can set my own schedule. I want to get in real estate because I want to work less. I want to get in real estate because I want to have my money working for me. Yeah, right. Rose, I hope you're documenting what you're going through. Rose has got a unique situation in New York. I'm not going to blow you up because I love you. Chris, what up? PFP group in the H Town. What up? What up? Derek, what's going on, brother? Thank you so much for being one of our channel members. You are helping me to keep doing this because it ain't easy to keep this thing going, y'all. Let's share this screen here. Let's share. So here's the conversation. I did it through text message. So what's up, Kevin? And the A, whatever's going on. Miss Jackson, Miss Deborah, you know I love you, Miss Deborah. Derek, Fannie loans. I don't know. I don't do any type of traditional financing. I don't do it. It is just not in the cards for me. That's not to say that it won't work for you. Deborah in South Jersey. Simply Biz. Hey, Michelle, what's up? Rosemary. My homie. Good evening. Yes. Okay, brother Fred. Fred's local. So I am doing a ton of projects now, but it's not. Let me tell you what I've noticed. My community. You know, I don't understand why is it that my community thinks, my culture, and I'm going to lead into this money conversation here. As I've been growing and just looking at my community, my people, and I identify with the masses, why do we think we are able to have the same lifestyle as the dominant society? Why is that? Why do we think we can have big house, nice car, cool job, going on vacations, all this stuff? That is the lifestyle of the dominant society that has roots of 400 years in this country, right? And I look at myself, I'm like, Chris, you didn't get here because you did all that stuff early in your career. Let me tell y'all, we have to stop living like the dominant society, the prevalent. We have to start living like a society that has been oppressed for the last 400 years. We can't live like them, y'all. And I don't know who I'm talking to tonight, but I'm looking at myself. I didn't live by myself. I had roommates till I was 35 years old. Okay, I want y'all to understand. I had roommates until I was between 32 and 35 years old. I was damn near, man, did I get married? I was almost married with roommates, okay? So I think the fact that we aren't where we want to be financially is we might be trying to imitate people of other cultures. Oh, I know you don't want to hear this tonight. And my Latinos, you guys have mastered this. Why do you think you can just go on a loan and borrow all the money and do the deals yourself? One of the things that I think the biggest hurdle, and I know we've heard it all, the biggest hurdle that my culture faces is working together. One person brings the credit, another person has good credit, another person might have some money for a down payment, another person might have a skill that they can bring to the table. You got 5 people on one deal. And we're sitting here trying to imitate the dominant society and going out there and getting one loan for one person, one project for one person. Hell, I don't even do that, y'all. And I've been in the game since 2004. So it might be time just to look around. I got to tell you, I think the biggest challenge for my people, we can't work together. We can't do it. We're sitting here trying to be the HNIC. If you don't know what that means, ask somebody, right? So here's a conversation. So I just started a couple of new constructions, right? I got this text message from her. She goes, "Hey, Chris, I got a few dollars I need to put someplace. Do you have anything I might be interested in?" So let's dissect that for a moment. That's right, Fred. There's something called the speed of trust. It's so amazing. When you trust somebody, you could wire $300,000 to the person. I trust him. No big deal. That's not even a lot of money. What I want to talk to y'all today, the reason I received this text message from this person is because one of the rules of wealth is be somewhere and be doing something. Now, you don't have to be actually flipping houses already. But do you know you can just sit there and walk through a house, y'all? It ain't got to be your house. You can walk through the property and just dissect the property. Hell, I do it all the time. I go to look at properties that I don't own and I do videos. Hey, if you're interested in working with me on one of these houses, boom, send me a direct message. So I'm showing y'all the steps. And you know what I'm going to do in a minute? I'm going to show you the questions. I got 8 questions. Since y'all hanging out with me right now. Here we go. Look. I got 8 questions that she sent me. We're gonna go over these questions in a moment. I'm going to do a YouTube video of these as well. I got 8 questions that she sent me that she wanted me to answer before she loaned me the money. Okay, so we're gonna go over these questions shortly. But first, we're gonna talk about our conversation. Dan Borrero, what up, homie? So she sent me this. I want y'all to understand that wealth needs to be attracted. If you chase wealth, it will elude you. Dan, what do you say to that?
You know, I don't know. I think I think it has to be a combination of both, and
What
it's
you
got to
mean?
be a healthy combination of in between. If you don't chasing it to me means getting up every day, you know, making sure you make all the right decisions, not only for your family but for your financial wealth, right? So, is that chasing it?
I
Or
don't
is
think that's chasing it. I think that's turning yourself into something that can magnetize to attract it. When I say chasing, I'm talking about you're going to chase that dollar.
mm. No, I think it needs to be attracted, and the way you attract it is by preparing.
What you
So,
just talked about in my mind is nothing but preparation. You're
yeah,
getting up early. You're doing what you need to do. You're going to the supply house early, getting stuff in order for the day.
yeah, it's preparation. It's how you attract it.
You're attracting it, y'all. So I want y'all to understand this first message, this came out of the blue. All right. I'm just going over Dan, a lady, young person just loaned me 100 grand last week to do a deal, right? I said, hey, thanks for thinking about me. I got to go to school. This is right before school was starting. I can just let me know when. That's the first conversation. So the next conversation, I was letting her what I needed. I said, hey, I needed 400,000. They reply, I don't have the whole 400,000. Right. So what am I doing here? I'm telling them what I need. Don't be scared to tell people how much you need to do the deal. Don't think for them. Don't think just because you ain't got a oops, sorry, Dan. Just because you ain't got $1 million in the bank, don't mean I don't got it. Tell people what you want. People are like, it's crazy. I see people asking, Dan, I see people asking people for down payment money. I'm like, that's all you asking for down. See how much they got. Ask them. So they'll tell you, I do have 100K. Then I let her know. This is me in the blue. Well, we can use the 100K towards the construction. I'll cover the rest as we may have to do one. We may have to do one at a time. I'm talking about new constructions. She says, sure. Then I need you to walk me through the whole thing. So that was our initial conversation, y'all. It's just a text, nothing but a text message. You could do this too. We're not, I don't think, Dan, I don't consider us to be special human beings
Well,
in the
though,
least.
Chris, let's stop a second, man, and I'm going to use your terminology, road behind you, right? For you, I want the audience to understand. Chris has this ability to attract this because he has a road behind him. Now, if you don't have a road behind you of success, Chris has clearly demonstrated that if there's a problem with supply shortages, he's going to figure it out. If he's got a problem with a contractor, he's going to figure it out. If the market corrects, he's going to
Gotta
figure it
figure it out.
out,
Yeah,
right? And hence, so I just don't want people to think that anybody could come. You've never done this before, and you're going to have these opportunities like you do.
that's true.
So you attract the money because of the preparation and your trials and tribulations that you've overcome,
That's
created
true.
the road behind you. Would you
That
not
is
say?
true. Well, I'm thinking about the people that don't have the roads that we have, Dan. All you gotta do is attach yourself to somebody that has a road. It's not like you have to have it. Like when I show up, dog. When I show up, you think I'm showing up just with me? I got Dan Borrero with me. I'm like, look on. I'm showing up in Philly. We're going to Philly at the end of the month, dude. I'm showing up with Dan Borrero. This is not a flex. These are facts, dog. I'm not trying to blow Dan's head up. The
The
guy
end of the
been doing
month,
this
bro. I
too.
think it's next the end of this week, bro. Where you going at the end of the month?
It's the 19th. We got 2 weeks.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
What date are we in?
19th. It's the 7th. Y'all call in with your questions.
I'm confused.
757
I'm going to Florida tomorrow. So,
Yeah,
this
you
week.
go.
Oh man.
We forgive you. We charge it to your heart. Y'all, 757-204-1332. Bring in the preguntas. I'm speaking more Espanol aquí porque I got these new tenants, Dan, that they're from the Dominican Republic. And I get to talk to them as much as I can in Spanish. What is it about the DR culture, man? They work hard as shit.
Well, it's like most immigrants, man. Most of you, I mean, you came here to work and make money. You didn't come here to, you know, I mean, there are some people that come here and piss it away, but the
Yeah,
majority of immigrants, they come here to make money, man. They come here to make
no doubt.
money and have a better life and achieve the dream of the American dream.
That is true. We got to let the people know, where is our invite? Where are we at? Oh, Miss James, she ain't coming to Philly. She
You
coming down to
coming to
Philly?
Philly, Miss James?
She ain't coming down no
I'm
Philly.
gonna be speaking and not speaking. I'm gonna be a guest at a conference in Orlando this weekend. Uh, so if anybody's in the Orlando area, give me a shout out.
You're a world traveler, Dan. That's cool, man.
Following week, I'll be in Philly with my man Kris Haskins.
We gotta get some content. Caller, you're on the line with Chris and Dan. Oh, did I hit the button? Caller, you're on the line with Chris and Dan. Please state your name and where you're calling from.
Hey, how you guys doing this week?
What up? What's your name? Where you calling from?
It's Mike from Philly.
Mike,
How
we're
you
gonna
doing,
see you.
Mike?
I'm so glad you chimed in. Yo, we're gonna be in Philly next week, dog.
I heard y'all say that. What's the event? What you guys doing?
It's actually, if you go to my profile, it's on there. There's gonna be really good speakers up there. One of them's gonna be Boone, Dan the real estate man, Calvin. Are you familiar with Calvin? He does a lot of work up in Philly.
Yeah, I heard of that guy. He's been doing it for a while.
Mike,
I
Yeah.
think
gotta
he's got a big social media.
yeah.
Yes, he does.
We need Mike, email, dude. We need to get with you too. Can you email me? Send it go. I'm gonna put my email in the chat so you can give us your information so we can get in touch with you.
Okay, cool. I'll look at the chat when I get off. Yeah, I was going to say, Dan is right. So Dan was talking about the what you guys are doing when you solicit the money from individual investors. That's not really for freshmen. So I was saying that most people listening, that's not something that you want to start with, because the reason why Dan was saying that is because, like Chris, you have a history. You've been doing it for so long. Like, I love the way Dan said it. Like, yo, if there's a correction in the economy, see, when we've been doing it for so long, we understand. Yeah, we figure it out, but not even so much that. Our priority is our investor. See, we have so much that when we deal with people, because we know we would rather not deal with the bank, and so our relationship is that individual, and so because the individual is. So why we don't ever want to pick that up. And so the newer guy doesn't understand the hurdles, and he puts himself behind the 8 ball. And then what happens is he'll mess around and he'll lose that person's money, but then he'll lose their respect and he'll lose that relationship, and he'll tell 4 or 5 other people. And then you before you get out the starting blocks, you hindered, right? You hobble before you get out there and you do what you do. So it's good. If you have to deal with like DSCR loans, if you have to deal with the bank, hard money, do that in the beginning. When you get yourself a footing and the understanding of it, then you start dealing with people that's close to you. Because the difference is, the bigger thing is, you really have to understand your personality. And some people don't understand that they're greedy. Some people don't understand that they're selfish. Some people don't, until that hardness hits them. Then they start to realize, oh, I didn't understand that. I was just looking out for myself. And when you do this, you're the last one to eat. You know, I remember when Dan was saying, I think a couple weeks ago, the Mercedes.
Say that again. Say that again. What position are we in?
We're in the last position. We're the last ones to eat.
I can't do that though. No, I can't do that. I'm first. I can't do that.
So it's crazy, because it's like Dan was saying a couple weeks ago. What'd you say? I couldn't hear that last one.
You got the floor.
Oh, I'm sorry. So it's like Dan was saying 2 weeks ago. He said, he said something that was so prevalent. And he said, remember the Mercedes situation, right? And it's crazy because the people that you have to deal with, they're stuck on a certain lane and they're stuck on a certain way. They don't understand your position. And I always try to say it's a worker mentality and an entrepreneurial mentality. A worker's mentality is to leverage their check against debt. That's what they do. They take whatever they make and they leverage against debt. They try to get $5,000 a month. They get a mortgage for $35,000. They get 2 cars for $15,000, and they're done. So at the end of the day, it's a difference. You know what I mean? What Dan was saying, when you show somebody something, their brain can't comprehend that the business is paying for that. Their brain can't comprehend what I'm doing. So you have to show them something so they can put it in a box for you. You have to show them the Sanford and Son truck, or you have to show them something. And it's a thin line because the truck can't be too old and it can't be too new. It can't be, and it's but Dan only knows that because he's been doing it for so long. You only know what you know because you've been doing it for so long. It's that, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like, I love to hear it. And I'm glad that you guys are both out here pushing that, because so many people just need that information because it helps them to navigate I always try to tell somebody, if you stepped on a landmine, tell me so I don't have to step on it.
That's what we're doing out here every Sunday night, telling people where the landmines are at. That's exactly what we're doing.
And they have to be able to get it. And that's why I said, you guys really give the great information. I just want more people to be able to listen to you because it's 2 real great sides. Chris is doing a lot of finance, and he's doing a lot of different things when it comes to getting properties and renovating them. But Dan he's holding a lot of these commercial units, and he's dealing with a lot of the construction side. And it's funny because I was trying to me and a couple of the contractors that were talking a long time ago was having lunch. And like they said, it's like sometimes when you deal with other tradesmen, it's like herding cats, right? You got personality, 5 different personalities. The electrician may not like to deal with the plumber, and plumber may not like to deal with the framer. It's so many different personalities. But Dan has been, and you and Chris have been able to, you have to be a people person to do this. It's not people business. It's not about money. It's like you were saying earlier. If you can't do this if you're chasing the dollar. You can't chase it. That's what I just want to say. Salute to both of you guys, and keep doing the work. And let's put a comment in the chat. Yeah, Mike. I appreciate it. Enjoy it.
We need to see you, dog. You better not let us come to Philly, right. Please. I just put my email in the comments, so send your information. We got because we were talking about you the other day when we were going when I bought the tickets. The dude, Mike, we got to meet you and get some pictures, dog. Okay.
Ooh, definitely. Holler at you in a little bit. Y'all enjoy the rest of the night. Talk to you.
Thank you, Mike.
That dude knows his stuff. You know what's weird? Game recognizes game. Real game. But Dan, when I think about you, I'm like, I remember when I was starting to pay off my properties, right? I just thought the heavens were going to part. And I would just ride off into the sunset, and I just wouldn't have to think about nothing no more.
Well, hold on. You do think, and you could have ridden off to the sunset, but you realize it's not your time to ride off yet, right? It's kind of
okay.
Think about it. Could you live on all the rents you're collecting now?
I could,
right? But I don't think. I kind of feel sad for people. I shouldn't say I feel sad.
Empathy, just empathy.
I don't even feel empathy for them. I just don't understand the mentality of doing nothing. Like, don't you get tired of doing nothing? Like, how much nothing can you possibly do?
I can do nothing about 1 hour. I got about 1 hour of that.
Now, you know what? And I've had to train myself to do nothing. I remember when I first started going on vacation.
That's true. It's
like after 3 days or 2 days, I'm like, okay, I got to get home. I got to go to work. And I would drive my entire family crazy. And, I actually apologized to them for that at dinner at our last vacation, the last night. It took me years to learn how to do nothing.
It's hard.
But, man, I mean, like, how long can you possibly do nothing?
I got about an hour. By the hour, I'm like, man, I gotta do something. And I think that's just something that is it's either in your DNA or not. Retirement is either in your DNA or not. Like Dan and I don't want to speak for Dan. My wife asks me all the time, when do I want to retire? I don't even know what that means. I was like, I don't want to, what? I'm going to retire from what? I'm going to stop doing this and do what? What would I even do?
Yeah, exactly.
Even for you, Dan, like, even if you didn't get paid for this, well, we don't get paid for this shit. We do this for, I don't make money on this.
I know a person who's a police, or not a police, a fireman chief, and the guy only works because he's got overtime and he doesn't get paid with overtime. They give him time, so and he's got to use that time that he works for overtime. So I think like in the last year he's worked like 4 or 5 days a month because he had all this overtime accumulated, right? And he's telling me he wants to retire and he's tired. I'm like, what the F are you tired from, bro? You only worked 5 days or 1 month. Are you kidding me? What do you want to retire from? I said, he goes, I don't need this. I said, but you still got 2 kids, like in high school. And he goes, well, I paid for my college. They should pay for their college. And I just started thinking to myself, and I said,
I don't know.
Just keep your mouth shut.
Dan gonna whack somebody.
And not only that, but you can't talk to someone that's not willing to listen.
Don't even try.
Yeah.
Don't even try. We have grown from that too. We trying to make everybody do real estate. Don't even try. So Dan, I got some questions. This is what that new lender asked me. She sent me an email. Real quickly, I'm just gonna go over a few of them, but I'm gonna do a full video breakdown on this later, y'all. So I want y'all to see what she asked me before she loaned me this 100K. And let me preface this by saying, y'all, 100K is not necessarily, I know some of us might be thinking it's a lot. Some might be thinking it's a little. Like for me, right? I'm thinking for me. For someone to loan me 100,000 when I was younger, I thought that would might as well be $1 million.
Yeah, the skies would have opened.
I'm like, you mean you have that to loan, right? So I want everybody to understand that's not a lot of money, y'all. It's you only earn. I learned this from Myron Golden. You only earn as much as you think is a lot. You only learn. So if you think 100,000 is a lot, that's all you're gonna learn.
Well, the truth is this: it all depends on where you're at in your career and your age. And I mean, if you had told me $100,000 in 2008, I was like, you give me 100,000 in 2008, I'll double it. Give me 5 years. You got to leave me alone, and I'll give you 200,000 back. But I would have made 400 from it. So what did I care if I was giving her another 100 or him?
Wow, that's crazy. So look, here's the first question, y'all. How is the collateral going to work? Number one, remember, the only thing the lender is concerned about is return of capital, y'all. You gotta, until you have mastered return of capital, don't even have a it kills me when people say, oh man, this deal's gonna make 20%. You can make this, you can make that. I'm like, I don't want to know nothing about profit till you tell me how I'm gonna get my money back. Dan?
I agree. How's my money being secured?
Yeah, I don't want shit. I don't give a shit if it's making.
And that's a legitimate question she's asking.
It is. I don't care if it's making 100% return. I want to know, how do I get my original money back before we do anything? That was and I'm not even mad at her. Okay, number one. Number two, is there going to be a property you currently own that will become mine if the deal goes bad? She wants to know, and the answer is yes.
Yeah, she's not. Those are not unreasonable questions.
Nope. You mentioned something about me being in first position. Can you explain that? Round up. If you're new, and even for me, I generally speaking put all my lenders in first position. That means if they go to foreclose on it, there's nobody in front of them that can obstruct. What's the word? Encumber the title. The title is not encumbered when they come in. Now, if you're experienced, you've been doing it, then you could put somebody in second position. But generally speaking, you want to put new people in first position. Dan, would you say?
Always.
Number four, the collateral.
It gives those new people a sense of security.
Yeah, it makes them feel. We're thinking about, dude. All we're doing is thinking about the other person. I want to make you as comfortable as I can. That way, why is that? Referral, you're happy, you loan me the money again, you sleep good at night. If the collateral is a property you currently own and I end up acquiring it, what are my options? They want to sell the property. I don't want to sell it on my own. Do you have a realtor that will find a buyer for me? She wants to know how she's going to get out of the deal if it goes bad.
You know what? She's asking well thought out questions.
Because she got capital. And all these are good questions. I'm going to show y'all a minute ago. At the end of this, I'm going to tell y'all how I responded. Man, that's a good question, right? How am I gonna liquidate the property if it gets screwed up?
Yeah.
What she doesn't want to hear, y'all, don't worry about it. Things always go well. You can't lose. They don't want to hear that shit. They want to know when it goes bad, because things go bad. How do I get my money back?
Go bad.
Things go bad. Ask Dad what happened. Ask Dad in 2007, 8, 9. We always getting things going crazy. Number 5, how do you confirm to me that the collateral property is worth the money I put into the investment? Real easy, y'all. She has collateral on a property that's worth $225,000. The city assessment is $200,000. She's only loaning $100,000.
Oh, so she good,
dude. You all to the good.
You real good.
Dan, that's what I'm saying. It was crazy.
There's a lot of room. There's a lot of meat on that bone.
A lot of meat.
Plus, you would have already done work to it.
She's getting. This is one of my rental properties. This is already cash flowing. I mean, there's a
lot of meat on that bone.
A lot of meat. So we could have got an appraisal, but when I sent her the city assessment, she didn't care. I mean, Dan, is that a no-brainer? I mean, if the city assessment is more than twice as much of what you're loaning.
If the city assessment's more than that, yeah, because it's usually they usually have the assessments lower than the value.
A little bit, usually. But we're not talking about 110, 120, 100. Dude, it's double what you're loaning me. Chris, I am assuming that I will get the recorded deed from the local courthouse, correct? Absolutely. I just want to make sure I understand my return. Oh, yeah. She wants to know what we're paying her. I'll get into that later. Can you prepare the deed of trust and the promissory note? I'm leaving the country August 12th. All right. So those were the questions that she had. Y'all call in if you got questions about raising money. If you think, I'm telling y'all, if you think these financial institutions are going to finance your hopes, dreams, and aspirations and goals, y'all, I mean, yes, they can help you. Yes. But why leave all your eggs in the power structure's hands? I don't get it. Dan, you quiet tonight, man. What's wrong? You been drinking?
Not at all, man. I believe it or not, you haven't got me mad.
Come on, y'all.
That way you can't call me grouchy tonight.
I was going to say you're in an unusual, pleasant attitude tonight. I was going to mention that. All right. So when I talk about private money, and I know both of us, Dan and I, we do our businesses completely different, right? So we're building 3 new constructions now. We got 1, 2, 3, all financed with ordinary people's money. Okay. And I'm not saying this is one way you can do it. I'm sorry. This is not the only way you can do it, but figure out how you can get in between the deal. So Dan, one of my charges at the beginning of this broadcast was our culture and community is held back because we do not know how to work together. I think that is the biggest dilemma with doing this business. We don't know how to work together.
You know what's funny? We'll trust outsiders before we trust ourselves.
It's weird, man.
I've seen that happen multiple times.
It's really weird. So y'all, even if you got to lose, don't let life beat you. Napoleon Hill, he wrote a letter to life. It was a long letter talking about somebody screwed him over, stole money from him, girl he was dating, cheated on, what all this stuff. Like, you can't let the bumps, and I know it's easier said than done. I know. If you ask Dan Borrero, I promise you, he'll tell you he's lost money on a deal. You ask any entrepreneur, we've lost. But at least we were willing to try.
losing money as an entrepreneur is part of the course.
It's part of the deal.
The problem becomes when you're losing more than you're making, right? You're obviously doing something wrong. But Napoleon Hill, you said, wrote a letter to life. It's
Mhm.
kind of funny because my wife and I were together yesterday, driving somewhere, and you saw there was apparently a groom going to his wedding, and
Oh,
the groomsmen came out and they were all happy, and the dad and mom. I could only assume it was the mom and dad. Everybody was happy, and then we go down about a mile down, and we have. I went to the bank. Then we continued running our errands, and about a mile down, the bride shows up. I mean, did I know it was going to be the church that we were going to be passing? No, but I assumed she was the bride because of that particular groomsman, because I also saw him there again, right? And everybody's all happy. And of course, I couldn't say this to my wife because sometimes women, she would taking it out of concept, out of context. But it's like I remember when my daughter was born, I felt the same way and thought the same thing. Like, life is so good and we're all happy that we just like we're starting something new. But the truth of the matter is, I knew that my kid was going to go through some torturous moments in her life, and all four of my kids. And I'm looking at this bridesman and this groomsman and the new bride, and they're all so happy. And I'm like, uh, you know, is anyone going to tell them, like, yo, there's going to be a lot of bad times, angry times, sad?
Mm.
That's the part you got to work through. Well, this is
Wow.
exactly how life is. There's going to
Wow.
be a lot of ups. There's going to be a lot of downs, but you determine how far those downs go.
Wow, that's deep, Dan. So you're saying the new entrepreneur is excited, the dopamine's going, and they're just looking for the wins. It's almost like you got to look for the losses so you can
There'll be a
correct
whole lot
almost.
of losses as well.
Wow.
Hopefully you have more wins than you have losses. But I mean, there's been times, Chris. How many times? Well, I can't speak for you, but for myself, I remember between 1991 to 97. I questioned myself so many times, man. My ability, did I make the right decision? Is this unfair to my wife? Because it's I was never home. So what I'm saying is, before you go into business, guys, becoming entrepreneurs, understand that running a business is like living your life. There's going to be a lot of ups. There's going to be a lot of downs. You're going to be the only one in the mirror motivating yourself. There's not a boss who's hiring a motivator to come in and motivate their workers. You are that motivator. Even when you feel like shit, even when you're going through hell back home, or your kids may be sick, or your parents, or somebody you love passed, you got to still put those emotions to the side, get into the office, and put your nose to the grind.
We got a question here, Dan, but I want to ask you. I know a lot of people, a lot of speakers talk about, I don't want to be she. And I have to ask you, what is your why? Because I believe it's really important to talk about.
So my why has changed.
It can evolve.
My why, actually, I guess you could call it that, has evolved. My first why was I wanted to become rich because I realized as a young age that it didn't matter the color of your skin when you had money, because people were scared of the money. They may not have been scared of what you could physically do to them, but they're always a whole lot more scared of what your money could do to them.
Mm.
So the reason I wanted to become rich was, one, I wanted to be a tough guy with my money when I needed to be. Two, um, I went through such a horrible time in academia because of my dyslexia. I was sick and tired of these teachers treating me like I was a fool or I was stupid because I couldn't read as well as the rest of the class. So my goal was to eventually come back to those schools or find those teachers and say, "Yo, bitch, let's compare bank books now. We'll do one now, right?" That never happened because finally, when you become wealthy, you don't.
You
It's
don't even care.
you don't feel the need to show it. Or
You
prove
actually
it.
have. You should actually have empathy for them now. Actually, instead of trying to step on them, you know.
Yeah. So that was my why. And then my initial
Sure,
why. Then
Dad, you got
when you have kids, your why changes.
you got some
Your why
crazy
changes
why.
dramatically.
All right. Well, for me, I'll just be thinking about the other Chris Haskins out there that don't know shit about real estate and have no idea. I never forget when I had to evict my first tenant. I knew nothing about nothing. And then I further was wondering, how the hell do you learn this stuff? Who's going to teach me how to go? Where do you go? Right? And you go hire an attorney, $500. Bam. I don't have $500 to learn how to evict somebody. So for me, my why is the other Chris Haskins out there of the world. I pray that there is many of you that don't have any idea of the next step for their real estate career and how to manage their tenant, which, by the way, the waiting list for the next Ultimate Landlord Survival Guide is in the video description. I got the right link now, Dan. Or you can just go to Dan Chris Deal. I have that up here too.
You know, it's funny, Chris.
What?
Do you remember your first eviction?
Oh, yes, sir. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. That's the only reason. I was on the phone with a broker. She's like, do this, do that, do this. I'm like, well, how long? You got to wait 5 days. What?
Well, I remember when they told me I got to wait 5 weeks just for the war. I was like, what?
What'd you say? I ain't waiting. I want to do it now.
5 weeks. I was like, yeah, that shit ain't happening.
I ain't waiting. Did you say you wasn't gonna wait, right?
Back in the day, we didn't have Ring cameras and surveillance, cell phones. It was like
we didn't want to go there. We're not gonna go there.
The truth is this. No, but I mean, do you remember the actual day of the eviction?
I was scared to death.
You were scared?
Yeah, I was scared. I'm like, what? I got the sheriff showing up. What if they shoot? What if they try to start shooting when we show up? I mean, I didn't know that they were more scared than I was, and I had the sheriffs on my side. At the time, I just was thinking, what if they don't want to leave? I got a mortgage to pay. You weren't nervous?
Man, I was so mad. I wanted to be. I was like, that's right. This is my building. My building, and I'm kicking your ass out to. That's right. This is my building. Man, I quickly learned that shit don't work.
Heck no. You gotta wait.
This is my building.
This is my house.
Get out.
You get out. What do you mean you ain't paying? Well, you need to leave.
But even the day of the eviction, I'm like, that's right. Like, you're in the street now. Like, thinking back, it was all the wrong way.
This is my building. You need to get out of here. What you mean you're not paying? Well, if you ain't paying, you got to go. They got a caller.
Yep.
Caller, state your name and where you're calling from, please.
Gerald Boone calling from New Jersey.
What's your name, brother?
This is Gerald calling from New Jersey.
Gerald
from New Jersey.
In Jersey. Oop, NJ. I was just reading about the dude Cesar Pena. You didn't know Cesar Pena, did you, Gerald?
No, I do not know Cesar Pena.
All right, I know you from Jersey.
I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
I don't know if y'all.
DeKalb Avenue.
Oh, okay.
Brooklyn in the house.
Hey,
Gerald. Arrow Gardens?
Oh no, DeKalb Avenue, Malcolm X Boulevard, Robertson Avenue.
Oh, there you go. Okay, that's okay. Now,
Gerald, what you got, brother?
I wasn't far from there. I was on a Delphi Myrtle.
Okay, yeah, that's my father bought his first property at DeKalb Avenue. All right.
What you got?
My question was actually in the chat, but my question was, I have a property in a difficult area in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. The property has been vacant for about 7 months now.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know, at what point do you fire your property? And I can't go back to the beginning. They evicted the tenant. for $400, which was a Section 8 tenant. The rent was $1,200. They were paying $100, and they evicted us for $400.
I don't know if I would have done that.
Exactly. And I honestly spoke to the tenant. I spoke to the tenant before they evicted her, and she said, "Oh yeah, I'm going next week to make the payment before I go to court."
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, okay, she'll do it. So I never followed up the management company, and then they told me that she never showed up.
Oh, they got a default judgment. She didn't go to court.
Yeah. So now I have an empty property that's sitting there now. You know, it's about 2 hours away from me, so it's hard for me to get there. You know, for me, and the city of Harrisburg has an ordinance that states that you have to have a manager or live in the town within 45 minutes of the town.
Damn. How in the heck did they enforce that? The mailing address. The mailing address.
Yeah.
Damn.
So,
I know what I would do, but what do you think, Dan?
Should I?
Oh, I'd love. If you don't mind, Chris, answer that one first, and I'll take it after that.
Gerald, don't forget, I'm not in the pretty house, warm and fuzzy, renting to qualified tenants business, okay? So if I were you, if I were a town, I would seller finance that thing and be done with it. I would turn myself into the bank and just start collecting money. I wouldn't think about it once, especially since I'm out of town. I would do a contract for deed or a lease option, get a down payment and get a monthly payment, and I'd be done with it.
I don't know if Pennsylvania. I was trying to look into that and see if it was in Pennsylvania.
Oh, you can do that.
How did they stop you from selling your property on a note? Shit, if they did that, how do you?
The banks would be.
How do you think the black and brown communities used to always sell their properties when they were redlining? It was always through a mortgage, self financing all the time.
Exactly. So my dad bought his first property on DeKalb Avenue. He bought it from a private owner, and she held the mortgage.
How long ago was that?
You know, I didn't know this. 1988.
Wow.
was when he bought the property, and he bought a couple of properties through those people as well at that time.
Yeah, that was normal. That was normal practice. There was redlining in that area back then. Look, the truth in the matter is this. When you tell me that they evicted her because she owed $400, that tells me that their property manager is actually on top of their job.
Yeah, but then it's a point to you being on top of the job and saying, listen, we're in a down economy right now. Let me figure out how to make this work. I don't know, bro.
You know, there's two sides, and I would need a whole lot more information. But personally,
what you mean? They evicted over $400. What else do you need to know?
My thing is 400 today, and then when they'll catch up, and then
it's $400, dog.
I don't give a shit. 4 months from now, I'm chasing $400 again. I'm not interested in it, man.
But the lady said she was going to pay before the court.
Again,
she didn't pay her portion for 3 months.
Exactly.
So, 3 months she didn't pay.
Obviously, didn't pay. She had a chance to pay.
But you got $1,100. What the hell?
See, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
I understand both sides. But
is not to pay $1,100.
Like you said, the economy, and that's a bad. But
now you stuck with how much is the mortgage, Gerald?
I don't have a mortgage on this property. I bought it cash in Harrisburg.
Oh, all right.
I mean, technically, I still, it's still money.
You got taxes, insurance, and all that. Now you stuck, man. I don't think that was. I would let them go. Damn, that's not fair. Okay, so these are two different. That's why you come on here to talk to both of us.
So Jared is saying yes, you do. I am from Harrisburg. Only question I can help. You can only do 4 seller financing deals a year before you will need a license. So I'm not
doing one.
I can't dispute what the rule is. Because
the other
is, is that if it was an LLC or it's under a personal name? I don't know what the law is. I do know that you financing. Number one. Number two, look, the truth of the matter is this. I'd rather have an empty property than have the wrong tenant.
But he had the right tenant. This lady just missed $100.
If she was the right tenant, she wouldn't be behind $400.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
dude.
Gerald,
man.
Gerald, my thing is this, man. There's two forms of thought here. Chris would have eaten the 400 because he's looking at the bigger picture, saying still getting 1,100 from Section 8. But at the end of the day, if you could go to sleep knowing that she's getting over on you and you don't care, like Chris could, that's fine. I can't.
One bit.
And I want everyone here to understand something. The way Chris does it is not right or wrong. The way I do it is not right or wrong.
Mm-hmm.
We do it according to our person. We do it what's right for us, our financial situation, as well as our personalities, what we could tolerate. However, there are certain fundamentals. There's certain fundamentals that don't change. And it's been my experience. If she 400, that means she owes you what? 4 to 8 months of her part of the rent. Am I lying?
That was about 3. Like I said, that was about 3 months of her portion of that. It was her portion from Section 8.
How long was she your tenant?
Only a year. But okay, so I got to throw one more part in there. She was in the hospital due to
a what?
She was in the hospital due to a stroke.
I would not have evicted her then. You having said that, you should have let off. You should have let off that.
I would just look, you don't owe me nothing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. This property manager dropped the ball on us.
Yeah, you wouldn't owe me nothing. That's somebody's grandmama, dog, or somebody's mother, man. I mean, come on. You didn't have a mortgage, dog. You just stepped in and stopped that, man. That ain't right, man.
Yeah. Like I said, she said she was going to be there on Tuesday. I said, okay, you're good. Sounds good to me. Because I usually don't deal with her, but I had a situation. I had to go there for to check something out. And she said, I'll be there on Tuesday to pay it. And I didn't speak to my manager for another 3 weeks when she's telling me, I evicted that person. You can go in there, you got to empty it out. So,
I can't even hear the story no
more. I wouldn't have evicted her.
No. You got to go find that lady, man.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now,
the whole company.
As far as right now, I'll tell you one of the things I've done. Sometimes I've lowered the rent. I had one time a 3-bedroom apartment where it was $3,800, and I said to the realtor, I said, she said, Dan, I get $3,800. I said, how long? She goes, I don't know. The market's it's a little slow right now. I said, what if we listed this as a 2-bedroom? And she said, well, you do about $3,200 to $3,300. I said, let's bring it in at 31. And she looked at me like when a dog is confused, like they don't know what to say or what you think. And my idea to her was, I don't want to rent it as a 3-bedroom because I'm going to get a lot of families, right? And the bigger the families are, the more wear and tear, the more repairs, the more complaints I get, right? Especially from other people in the building.
Stress on the property.
In the hallway, or the noise, whatever that is. So I ended up renting it to a couple who came to look at it, thinking they were going to use a 2nd bedroom as an office that they would share. Well, they're still there 5 years later. I gradually brought them up to the market rent, and I rarely hear from them. And I don't think they've ever called me for a repair in that apartment in 5 years.
Wow. What's your point to that?
My point is that sometimes you have to remarket it and be willing to take less now to get the cash flow and then eventually get to the market rent later. Because while it's empty, it's making you absolutely nothing.
Because you losing money, which is okay. Yeah. We're not mad at that.
Yeah.
We got to move on. Look, Gerald, why don't you, we got a link in the video description for a consultation for both Dan and I. You can get us both on the private line. It's right in there.
You know what? I got to be honest. He would be a perfect candidate to become an ultimate landlord warrior.
That's right. Sign up for that too, so we can help you get that place right.
I also met you guys. I did the dinner with you guys in Newark.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Good
to see you again. Good to hear
from you.
I think that was about 2 years ago.
Oh, you did the lunch and learn with us.
Yes, I did.
We slipping. We got to do that again. Dan, see, I told you we need to do it again.
Yeah, we need to do that again. It's been a while.
Yeah, we had fun.
All right. Good to
Thank
talk
you,
to you, brother. Man, the guy
All
kicks
right,
out the
thank you. Have
lady
a great
with
night.
the stroke. That's my aunt he kicked out, man. That ain't right.
Yeah,
He didn't do it. He didn't do it.
So she had extenuating circumstances. It
But
wasn't.
it's $100. Dan, see, Dan, you ain't worth nothing, Dan. You would have kicked the lady out. I knew you was. I knew.
My thing is this: if you have no excuses and you constantly owe me money, you're going to pay me the 400 now, and then 4 months from now, I'm going to be in the same exact situation with you.
But it's $400.
I don't.
What situation are you in?
Be chasing the 400. So, but in this particular case, she had a legitimate reason to be behind.
The lady had a stroke. Her arm
Had a legitimate reason.
face sliding off the side of her body.
Yes.
Caller, you're on the line with Chris and Grumpy Dan. State your name and where you're calling from.
How you doing? It's Brian from New Jersey.
Brian, how are you? Oh, this is
How
Brian.
you doing, Dan?
Yes, Brian from the mentorship class. How are you, brother? I recognize the voice.
Good. I'm doing good.
What you got?
Yeah,
Brian?
just I actually was curious about. I got a question about something, but I just want to touch base on that Section 8 situation. In that situation, with that tenant, since they got evicted, isn't that tenant put in a situation where they can actually lose their Section 8 voucher?
That's a Kris Haskins question.
I don't think so. The eviction doesn't automatically go to the caseworker. If she didn't pay, this lady probably just gone to the next place already. She got a new place, so it's not like they.
Gotcha.
Remember, they got something called a default judgment. That's just when the other person, they just don't even show up. And that's not to say that, yeah, when you don't show up, the other side wins by default, which we don't know she probably got her new place. She moved on to the next place. So she didn't technically get evicted in her mind. She just was like, I'm done with it.
Yeah, as long as she didn't lose the voucher.
Yeah.
Anyway, the question I have is more directed towards Dan, because I know, Dan, you have a bunch of stuff in North Jersey. And I guess my question is, I got a couple of units that I recently renovated. I got 3 units, and they've been sitting. I seem like the market's softening up as far as the rental market. They've been vacant now for about a month or two, and I'm not really getting too many hits on the rentals. Are you seeing a softening in the market in North Jersey?
What town are you in?
These particular units are in Berg, New Jersey, and West New York, New Jersey. So it's highly densely populated.
Yeah, actually, believe it or not, I've been seeing a big softening happening in Florida. My second soft area is New York City. And the one that is the biggest softening that I see so far is my properties in New Jersey. Yes, they're staying on the market longer. The quality of the applications I'm getting are literally horrible.
Define horrible, Dan.
I don't have a job, but I promise I could pay my rent.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Me and my wife are moving in, but my wife makes enough money to pay the rent. And then when I look at everything, and I'm like, so you have 2 cars, and you still got to eat, you still got to pay for heat and electric and hot water, but all your wife makes is just barely enough to pay the rent. Like, it doesn't make sense, right? Or they just have really bad credit. I just turned down one application for New Jersey. They had 3 evictions in 7 years. So yeah, the market is softening. And Brian, we discussed this at the mentorship class. The truth of the matter is, this cycle comes, and it's been a long time since it's been here. It's been a very long time since it's been here. But everything is relevant. Remember, when the rents come down, so does the price of the property that people are asking for when they're selling, because the rent rolls are so low, right? So everything is relative. I look at this like opportunity time, where I hope the rents keep coming down, because eventually I know they're going to go back up when the economy gets better. But I'd rather buy now.
Now's the time.
No, of course. I guess the concept is change the mindset of the sellers, bring them back to reality. I was just, I guess my question was more of, am I experiencing something that's not within the market, Because these extra units were actually, they were like $1,100-$1,200 apartments. And actually, I wound up buying out the tenants, giving them $5,000-$6,000 each to leave. So I was able to renovate them and to bring them up to a quality apartments. So now I'm about 160 grand into renovations, and I'm sitting here with no rent. I'm just curious if I'm gonna get them rented for the next month or the next couple months. But in the past, it was always like people lined up.
The deal is, Brian, that in situations like this, the truth is that we have to lower our rents. The market always dictates the rent.
Bigger than everybody.
You nor I dictate the rent.
Market's bigger than everybody.
The market tells us what the rent's got to be. And not to say that you made a mistake renovating them, because the way I look at it is, when COVID hit, I lost 13 apartments. I lost 13 tenants. And I decided, because the apartments were being so difficult to rent during COVID, during that time, I decided to renovate 8 of them. 8 of the 13, because the other 5 had been renovated in the last 10 years. But the other 8, I hadn't renovated them in about 25 years. So I put in new kitchens and new bathrooms. Now, the crazy part was that the material was a lot less and the labor was less because people need to work. Now, I remember my dad arguing me because I ended up renting it for exactly what we were renting it for before COVID. And he said, so we just dropped 60 grand into this door and we got the same rent. I said, you're looking at it the wrong way. We dropped 60 grand because when this COVID thing is over, rent's going to go up, number one. And number two, I don't have to worry about that unit for the next 30 years. I'll be dead. My kids will worry about it. Right?
Listen, I'm not scared about putting the money into it. I believe in the concept of the renovation to eliminate all the service calls, because that money is going to be spent anyway. It's just you spending it at your convenience and having a quality product. So it's better all around for the tenant and for yourself, I guess your experience in Jersey with rentals. What about timelines? Do you feel as though there's a certain time of the year?
No, it's going to get worse right before Thanksgiving.
Okay.
From Thanksgiving to January 15th, it gets really bad.
Every year.
Yeah, so I guess my experience has been, like a March through July has been like the stronger rental time frame.
It's a stronger time frame, and you normally get more money during those months as well. Anything after those months, you get less money. But I would concern myself with renting it out to the right tenant right now, even if it meant that you lowered the price. The problem is
I agree.
But you got a problem in Jersey. You're in North Jersey, like where you by Bergenfield?
No, I'm West New York, Gothenburg, North Bergen, right on the other side of the waterfront.
So maybe not. Some areas, the lower you
between Lincoln Tunnel and George Washington Bridge.
Oh, I'm surprised you're having a problem, because that area is booming.
Okay, Brian. Look, there's a consultation if you want to get up with Dan on there. Good talking to you, brother.
Good night, Brian. Thank
you, guys.
Dan, let's get out of here, brother.
Arnold S. I thought the rents never go down.
Don't say never in this game, bro.
Rents go down, guys. The market dictates what the price is. When the price of sheetrock skyrocketed to $22 a sheet, eventually went back down. I mean, it's still a lot higher than it was last year, but the truth is this: if the supplier can't sell sheetrock at $22 a sheet,
it'll go down.
Drop it $1 a sheet or $2 a sheet until where they find a sweet spot that people are still willing to pay for it.
Yep.
The market determines the
bigger
cost
than everybody.
of the product.
So here's what I'm trying to understand, Dan. Here's rents 2019, right? COVID hits, rents going up and up and up and up and up and up, right?
When COVID hit, my rents went down.
I'm talking about after COVID hit. Let me change this. So you're saying 2022 then? Let's do that. We'll change this to 2022. You want to do that?
Yep.
This is what I need people to understand. This shit, you got to not get amnesia in this business, especially with you, Brian. You know I love you. Rents are going crazy, right? Why is it that we think rents, and then we say it's the market softening? Dog, your rents went up astronomical over the last 3 years. And then if we can't get the rent that's today, we think we in a bad market. What is wrong with us? Your shit just went way up. If you're anything from here to here, you're all to the good. So anywhere in here, dude, you're okay. Lower the rent. And it's even with me too. I got to remind myself this. I don't get it. Why do we think the rents need to be where they are today? Lower the shit.
I'll share with you guys stuff that I like. One of the things I do is my realtor tells me she thinks she get 3,000. I tell her Denise put it up for 2,900.
I don't mind going lower.
And literally,
you get more applications.
In a week, I said, Denise, where are we? How many showings we got? Oh, damn, we only got 6 showings.
Lower.
Let's reconsider the listing the pictures on the listing. And then I'll go, sometimes I'll find that, you know what, she didn't have this professionally done, and that's the problem. Okay, let's get professional pictures done. Mm-hmm. That way, when people looking at it, it's more inviting. Sometimes that's the only thing that needs to be fixed.
That's right? True.
Sometimes, I'm like, if she tells me I got the professional pictures, we're doing all the right advertising, obviously the rent's too high for that market.
But then isn't it good to have an environment of other investors that can look at what you're doing and say, you know what? We got to fix. Didn't we do that with one of our mastermind members? Who was renting out a house?
Annie.
Look.
In Philly.
That's right. It was the pictures. The rent was a little too high. She's like, I'm not getting anybody rent. Lower the rent. And I think they changed some of the pictures. There are little tweaks. You'll be surprised, y'all. Little tweaks can make people hate your property. I don't know why. I ain't going to live there.
Yep.
And then you hang out with some guys and they say, you know what? I had that same thing happen to me. I did boom, 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 boom. You do that one little thing, y'all. You'd be surprised your environment. Okay, Dan, final thoughts and we're gone. Y'all go to the link below.
Arnold S. says, I thought the rents never go down. That's a lie. They go down, just like prices may go down. Right now we had the worst jobs report in I don't know, 3 years. People ain't working. How are they going to pay your rent?
They ain't. That's why I'm renting. I don't do private pay.
Rents will go down. I've been through, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 cycles where the rents have come down.
All right, round up. That's all we got for you. Make sure if you are wanting to be in this business, you're going to have stamina. You can't look at 10, 20, 30 houses and think you're going to be doing a game, okay? We love you. Dan and I have nothing but love for you. We are you years ago, trying to figure it all out, right?
Shit, we're still trying to figure it out.
You're right. We're students. I tell people I'm just a student. I get to hang out with guys. Anyway, stamina. Right now, Dan always tells me, I'm not buying as many houses as I was before. Things change. Tenants, rents go up, rents go down, markets swing. You got some times where people aren't moving. I remember in COVID, nobody wanted to sell. Inventory was low, interest rates low, so you have to figure out how to adapt. And the only way to do that, you got to have some stamina.
Got to understand the market will tell you what direction to go in or not to go in.
That's right.
The market, Chris and I do not make our decisions by ourselves. The market tells us what decisions we got to make.
Dang right. And don't forget, you don't have to do this all by yourself. Learn how to work with other people. Are you going to lose some? Maybe. Is it going to be challenging? Can you imagine how many personalities Dan has to deal with throughout a day? I know I do. I'm taking one phone call. I got to change my whole mindset. Next phone call, boom. Different mindset. I think, Dan, did you say you were social workers one time?
I say we are social workers, especially if you're working with D-class properties. you're constantly trying to fix your tenant's problems.
You got to do it. If you want to get that rent, just do it.
The truth is, sometimes, well, not anymore, but I remember when I was younger and I was dealing with a lot of D-class properties, I was walked into the barber one. At one time I didn't have hair, people. I walked into the barber, and chair was taken. 2 chairs were taken up, and I was like, and there was a newspaper on the bench. This was many years ago, and I'm reading the paper, and I'm like, man, this is really cool. I get to sit here and read, but I was annoyed at the guy who was sitting on the chair because he's telling his problems to the barber. His work problems, his supervisor problems, his wife, his kids. And I'm saying to myself, can this guy just shut the F up so I could read it? Like, I don't want to hear your shit, man. So now he leaves. I get into the barber chair. I'm like, bro, how many of these stories do you hear a day? He says, all day. I says, you don't get paid enough. You don't get paid enough. You think you ain't just cutting hair, bro. You're an emotional.
You're a therapist.
Support animal. Listen to other people's problems. And
I used to be a barber. You gotta listen.
So you know what I'm talking about?
You gotta listen, dog. You're like a therapist.
Yeah, man. It's like they don't get paid enough.
They don't. $10, $20. At least a therapist making $150.
Oh, my barber raises prices to $20. I was like, yo, why are you raising my price? Raise his price. Matter of fact, put that motherfucker up to $30. Not me. I don't tell you my problems. We come in here, we laugh, we talk, and I leave.
You know what, man? There should be 2 prices for a haircut: the quiet price and the talking price. To be upsell. Like, look, you want to talk? It's $30. You want to quiet? It's $20.
Yep.
Look, we'll talk about this next week. Section 8. I just received a letter. A vibe person. I received a letter from New Jersey Section 8 that they are not approving rent increases starting in October. We'll deal with that next week, y'all. We'll see. We'll do some research on that.
Yep. Take care, everyone.
All right. Peace.
Good night.